Hi everyone, and welcome to today's session on ethics and trust in the investment profession. This is a critical topic for anyone pursuing the CFA designation, and honestly, it's one of the most important areas you'll study. Why? Because ethics is the foundation of trust in finance. Without trust, the entire financial system breaks down. So let's dive in and explore what ethics means, why it matters, and how it applies to investment professionals. Let's start with the basics. What is ethics? Ethics is essentially a set of shared beliefs about what's good or acceptable behavior and what's bad or unacceptable. Think of it as a moral compass that guides how we act, especially when our decisions affect others. In the investment world, ethical conduct means balancing your own interests with the impact your actions have on stakeholders, like your clients, co-workers, employers, and even the broader financial community. For example, imagine you're managing a client's portfolio. You might have the opportunity to make a quick profit by taking a risky bet, but if that bet goes wrong, your client could lose money. Ethical conduct means putting your client's interests first, even if it means sacrificing some short-term gains for yourself. Now, let's talk about the Code of Ethics. A code of ethics is a written set of moral principles that guides behavior. It's like a rulebook for what's considered acceptable and unacceptable in a profession. For investment professionals, the CFA Institute has its own code of ethics, which sets the standard for how we should act. But why is a code of ethics so important? Well, it's a way for a profession to communicate to the public that its members will act ethically and honestly. It builds trust. When clients see that you're part of a profession with a strong code of ethics, they're more likely to trust you with their money. Speaking of professions, let's define what a profession is. A profession is more than just a job. It's a group of people with specialized skills and knowledge who serve others and agree to follow a code of ethics. Think of doctors, lawyers, or, in our case, investment professionals. Professions establish trust by requiring high standards of expertise, setting ethical standards, and monitoring professional conduct. For example, the CFA Institute requires members to pass rigorous exams, adhere to ethical standards, and commit to continuing education. This ensures that we're always improving our skills and acting in the best interests of our clients. Now, let's talk about why ethics are so important in investment management. Investment professionals have a special responsibility because we're entrusted with our clients' wealth. Our job is to protect and grow that wealth, and that requires trust. But here's the thing. Investment advice is an intangible product. Unlike buying a laptop or a meal at a restaurant, clients can't easily evaluate the quality of our advice. That's why trust is so crucial. If we act unethically, say by misleading clients or taking excessive risks, we not only harm our clients but also damage the reputation of the entire profession. And that has broader consequences. When investors lose trust in financial advisors, they're less likely to invest, which makes it harder for businesses to raise capital and grow. In the long run, unethical behavior hurts everyone: clients, firms, and society as a whole. Now, let's talk about professionalism in investment management. What does it mean to be a professional in this field? Well, it's more than just having technical skills or passing exams. It's about how you conduct yourself and how you serve your clients. Clients rely on investment professionals for their expertise, judgment, and ethical principles. Many of them don't have deep knowledge about financial securities, fee structures, or potential biases in investment recommendations. That's why it's so important for us to act with integrity and professionalism. In the investment world, there are two key standards that guide how professionals interact with clients: the suitability standard and the fiduciary standard. Let's break these down. The suitability standard means that the investments you recommend must be suitable for your client's financial situation, risk tolerance, and investment goals. For example, if your client is risk-averse and nearing retirement, you wouldn't recommend high-risk, speculative stocks. That's suitability in action. But there's an even higher standard: the fiduciary standard. As a fiduciary, you're legally and ethically obligated to act in the best interests of your client at all times. This means putting their needs above your own, avoiding conflicts of interest, and disclosing any potential conflicts that do arise. For example, if you're earning a commission for recommending a certain product, you need to disclose that to your client. The fiduciary standard is the gold standard in our profession, and it's what the CFA Institute expects from its members. It's not always easy to meet this standard, but it's essential for building trust and maintaining the integrity of the profession. So, whether you're held to the suitability standard or the fiduciary standard, the key takeaway is this: professionalism means putting your clients first. It's about using your knowledge and skills to serve their best interests, not your own. And that's what sets true professionals apart in the investment world. Of course, acting ethically isn't always easy. There are challenges to ethical behavior. One big challenge is that we tend to overestimate how ethical we are. We think, I'm a good person, so I'll always do the right thing. But the truth is, situational factors, like social pressure or the promise of a big bonus, can lead us to make unethical decisions. For example, imagine your boss pressures you to recommend a high-fee investment product to a client, even though you know there's a better, lower-cost option. Loyalty to your employer might tempt you to go along with it, but ethical conduct means putting your client's interests first. Another important point is the difference between ethical standards and legal standards. Not all unethical actions are illegal, and not all illegal actions are unethical. For example, whistleblowing, reporting unethical behavior within your company, might be illegal in some cases, but many people would consider it ethical. On the other hand, recommending an investment in your cousin's company without disclosing the conflict of interest might not be illegal, but it's definitely unethical. The key takeaway here is that ethical standards often set a higher bar than legal standards. Laws are usually created in response to past unethical behavior, but ethics requires us to think beyond the rules and consider the impact of our actions on all stakeholders. Finally, let's talk about how to make ethical decisions. The CFA Institute provides a framework for ethical decision-making that can help guide us. Here's how it works. Identify. Start by gathering all the relevant facts and identifying the stakeholders involved. Who will be affected by your decision? What duties do you owe to each stakeholder? Think about situational influences, like social pressure or financial incentives, and seek guidance from mentors or colleagues. Consider alternative actions and their potential consequences. Decide and act. Choose the best course of action based on ethical principles. Reflect. After making your decision, evaluate the outcome. Did it have the intended result? Were there any unintended consequences? This framework helps us make better decisions by considering multiple perspectives and thinking through the long-term impact of our actions. To wrap up, ethics is the foundation of trust in the investment profession. It's not just about following rules, it's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. As future CFA charter holders, you'll be held to the highest ethical standards, and that's a responsibility we should all take seriously. Remember, ethical behavior isn't just good for your clients, it's good for your career, your firm, and the financial system as a whole. So, as you move forward in your studies and your career, always keep ethics at the forefront of your decision-making. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions you have.